Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying the kind of stuff that you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow. This evening we're here at Bressingham Steam Museum and Gardens for the creatively named Bressingham at Night. And as you may have guessed, it is night time and they've lit up the site. There are things like the gallopers behind me illuminated, they've got lights on the trains, and it's all quite a nice evening atmosphere of steam, the darkness and lights. There's things like the showman's running behind me, and all in all, it looks like it's going to be a rather pleasant evening. So join me as we have a wander around and have a look at it. But before we do, a word from our sponsor.
Lawrie.
Are you hungry?
Lawrie, it's 2 a.m.
Yes, but I've partnered with Y Foods and they've told me I've got to tell everybody about their smart food. It's for people like us, JM. Busy people always on the go. People who don't necessarily have time for a healthy meal.
That's great, but it's 2.
But there's more, James. It's both lactose and gluten-free. There's even a vegan range if you're that way inclined. Y Foods products are based on nutritional and technological research to enable a person to eat a balanced diet, no matter where they are. It means that if we're filming in the middle of nowhere, we can still get all of the nutrients that we need.
Lawrie, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, I hear you. But did I mention that you can get it in 2 different sizes, both 500 and 330 millilitres? And there is a whole host of different flavours. Includes things like classic choco, heavenly hazelnut, cold brew coffee, happy banana and crazy coconut.
You even tried this stuff?
Yeah, it's really good. And you can get 10% off if you use the discount code. Did I mention they also do powder and bars as well? Anyway, I've got to go. I've got more people to phone and tell about the Y Foods range.
I don't think you realised what they meant when they said tell everyone about that. Ugh, I'm going back to sleep.
And now, the continuation of your YouTube video. I love the atmosphere of steam at night. And it wasn't just steam. There were a couple of the museum's locomotives dragged out for us to look at, and there were some of the appliances from Norfolk Fire Museum that had come along too to help light the area and create more ambience of the blue lights in the dark. First up, I decided to have a go on the 10¼ gauge garden railway hauled by this locomotive here, named Alan Bloom and built in-house at Bressingham back in 1995. It's quite a cute little thing based loosely on a quarry Hunslet. There is something quite magical about travelling by a steam train at night, and the gardens looked absolutely superb, even though some undesirables had been in the night before and stolen many of the lights. It didn't, however, detract away from the experience, and I was just quite happy to be travelling on a little steam train, looking at the gardens in a brand new way. Obviously, the next thing for me to go and have a look at was the fire engines, including this one, which was the type of machine that replaced my own Dennis RS130. I do love the blue lights as they flash in the darkness, something that I do quite frequently at this time of year with my own truck. It's just quite special. I decided as I watched the Fen Railway service disappear into the darkness, hauled by Hunter number 316 of 1883 Gwynedd, that was going to be the next thing that I went on. Crossed over the Waveney line, giving us our first glimpse of the little Bobo on the 15-inch gauge. As with before, parts of the Fen Railway had been completely transformed via the use of multicolour lights, with these strange trees looming out of the darkness as we went past. Personally, I thought this was all quite tastefully done and really enjoyed it. And then suddenly, I worked out where I was. We were approaching the crossover with the 15-inch gauge. And all too soon we arrived back at the main station. With the excitement of the passing trains over, we carried on our journey through some of the wonderfully lit surroundings. And all too soon we arrived back at the main station. Perhaps the star of the evening was the centrepiece of Bressingham's collection, the Gallopers. I have many fond memories of riding this when I was a little boy, and it still manages to enchant. But next up, I wanted a quick look around the museum. Now frequently, you guys ask me what is my favourite locomotive of all time, and it's this. This is my absolute favourite thing. I know that comes as quite a surprise that it's not a mainline machine like Green Arrow or even an Andrew Barclay, which I would love to own. But this has always been my favourite locomotive. I just think it's such an amazingly well-proportioned, powerful, wonderful looking little machine. It is just magnificent. And I've always had a real soft spot for it. I have driven it when I was a volunteer here, when I was about that big. And I just think it's fantastic. It's just, everything about it is just right. And if I was ever going to have my own personal railway and my own locomotive to run on it, this is what I dream of. It's this one. She is number 1662 of 1937 and built by Krupps in Germany. And it's one of three imported over into the UK, with the other one, Menetru, staying here, and the third one, now called Black Prince, over on the Rodney Hythe and Dynchurch. And it is a 15-inch gauge Pacific. And it's fantastic because everything in here is just a wonderfully scaled down main line. I've got a regulator with ratchets, a reverser with many notches. It's just It's absolute perfection, this thing. It really is. Having stared lovingly at Rose and Cavalier for quite some time, I headed outside in time to see Gwyneth heading off with another train. And then the gallopers beckoned. Gee up, little horsey. Gee up. Hey, listen to me. Following the excitement of the gallopers, I headed down towards the Waveney line, stopping to have a peer inside the engine shed, where a Hunslet, the vertical boilered Fernalee and Bevan were all on display. From there I hopped onto the Waveney, where you can see the Fen Railways train crossing in front of us, disappearing into the darkness. It was, of course, the same theme as the other railways, with strategically placed lights illuminating the landscape. This worked particularly well with the lake, as the lights reflected off the water, and the open carriages just magnified the whole effect more so. And obviously, I loved it. The Waveney line had always been my favourite as a child, and it was fantastic to revisit it. And as we trundled along, the train snaking its way through the darkness, a horn rang out. Of course, we were now approaching the crossover, where we would pass the Fen Railway. And with the excitement of the passing trains over, we wheeled away past more of the displays as the little train rumbled its way into the darkness.
They're Pomja diesel. It's the smell that makes the whole of it just magical. The little diesel working away.
By the time we arrived and had wandered back up, we were in time to see Gwyneth leaving with another train. There is one thing that always never ceases to amaze me or enchant me, and that's when you have a showman's engine generating its own electricity. It's not just the sight or the sounds of steam, it's so much more. That is living magic. That is the most spellbinding, bewitching thing I think I will ever come across. And every time I see this, it doesn't get old. It's still as new and as exciting every time. And frankly, with everything on tonight, I could just sit and watch that. That's it, everyone's packed up and going home. I've been chatting to the guys on the showman's for quite some time. We've been sorting out stuff for future videos, and with that I'm going home. So I hope you've enjoyed this video of a walk around an evening in winter, and with that we'll see you later. If you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking somewhere, I don't know, somewhere over there for a couple of other similar videos. We'll see you next time. I've walked past the exit because it's over there. Yeah, click things. Oh, like, subscribe. Do the like, subscribe. Yeah, I keep meaning to say that. Ta-ra.